This is a mock interview conducted by ForumIAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, ma'am?
Come.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Come. Abhinav, please sit down.
Thank you.
You belong to Haryana, Abhinav, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this your first interview?
No, ma'am. This is my second interview.
Okay, and the first, what happened?
Ma'am, I was recommended for DANICS service.
You joined DANICS?
Yes, ma'am. I've joined DANICS.
And where are you posted right now?
In South Delhi district as an SDM under trainee.
Okay. So you have opted for the whole range of services except for your postal virtual. So you would prefer to be in audits and all to DANICS?
Yes, ma'am.
Railway management?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, what does your father do?
Ma'am, he is a Deputy Excise and Taxation Commissioner with the government of Haryana, with the Excise and Taxation Department.
Excise and taxation, which excise is this? This is the excise duty on industries or the excise alcohol one?
Ma'am, the liquor and the alcohol one.
The liquor one, huh?
Yes,
Excise and taxation is together.
Yes, ma'am. And the state GST, ma'am.
All, everything together.
Yes, ma'am. We have a common department for both state GST and...
Normally people have that excise separate.
Yes, ma'am.
And what is the excise revenue of Haryana?
Ma'am, that is
liquor?
around 7,600 crores.
Bus?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Because the majority of the consumption is driven from the NCR districts, primarily Gurgaon and Fatehabad. And the liquor vends in the other districts, the other 20 districts are limited. So the license fee comes primarily from these districts.
Okay. And you've done electronics and communication engineering.
Yes, ma'am.
Give us 4 ways in which communication engineering is useful in governance. Its potential in governance.
Ma'am, firstly, use of modern communication technologies such as 5G or 6G, if there are improvements, that can be used, ma'am, for faster transmission of files through e-office and through electronic transmission of files, ma'am. Secondly, ma'am, for community engagement.
I'll just take you on that point. It is said that you should have only that much of technology that you require. For example, when you're buying a phone, people will sell you, itna, and my features are basically just a little bit of memory and data processing, right? So what really is the requirement of the government?
Ma'am, there should be like 5G is one such technology which is required so that the speed of transmission of files or speed of transmission of data, or if the government, the Deputy Commissioner, District Magistrate wants to have engagement with the citizens on social issues.
Good. What else?
That can be done.
Okay.
Ma'am, secondly, there can be podcasts or there can be other engagement mechanisms. There can be video conferencing so that a district magistrate sitting in the office can interact with multiple people spread across different subdivisions, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And ma'am, thirdly, if there are any grievances or if the citizens need any services, for instance, ma'am, currently in the revenue department, we have digitized most of the services. So most of the application for OBC certificates or EWS certificates, they are moved through online mechanism, ma'am. So ma'am, they can be processed faster, and ma'am, there can be mechanisms to assess the efficiency of those, as in if the service has been delivered within the stipulated time or not.
What about fines and challans and assessments? They reduce corruption?
Yes, ma'am. If say the traffic challans are done using CCTV cameras installed, or if there are assistive technologies on the body of traffic personnel, then that can also reduce corruption and that will also improve the service delivery.
So they found their way out from that. What they do, they will position themselves at a blind spot near a light. And when you come, they will straight away say कि ये तो आपने jump किया 2,000 rupees और license दो, driver 3 महीने suspend. Then you अरे नहीं, अच्छा सबसे छोटी आपको लगाते हैं penalty, which is what? गाड़ी में आप जरा उसको आपने सीट बेल्ट नहीं लगाया और लाइसेंस होगा, नहीं अरे नहीं, देन समबडी से अच्छा चलो 500 पे सौदा कर लो, दे फाइंड अ वे आउट.
Ma'am, if there are assistive technologies on the body of the personnel, such as cameras installed on the
The cost benefit ratio, I mean, you have to see that also, no? You have to see that. Okay. So you are a PG from IIM Calcutta. So the obvious question that comes to my mind, why do you want to join the civil services? You are so highly qualified.
Ma'am, after doing my PG, ma'am, I wanted to work in two sectors. Ma'am, investment banking and management consulting, and I worked in both the sectors.
So now you are done. So after how much time will you get fed up of administration? Which other sector will you want to do then?
No, ma'am. Working therein, I realized that the work profile of a bureaucrat or a civil servant would offer me the ability to work across different sectors, ma'am. There will be diversity.
Pretty late and very costly way of self-realization, huh? Considering you went through a subsidized education and denied somebody else a seat.
Ma'am, but the education can still, the management education as well as the...
Yeah, it will be used better in civil services or in that line itself.
Here also,
it's a question of where it's better used.
Ma'am, it can be used here also. The skills can be used here also.
I didn't say that, but where is better? As a civil servant, it is better that you find the right person to do the job rather than do it yourself. No? Okay. Anyway, that is just this thing. So you were also an NT in Haryana?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? Acha. Which firstly year is it just now?
Ma'am, this is 2020 to 23.
No, firstly year.
Ma'am, this is the Kharif fasal is currently.
1300 kuch. What is the year?
Sorry, ma'am, I'll have to check.
And why do we need a khasra khatani both?
Ma'am, so that we have the data about who is currently in possession of the agricultural field, who is currently doing the cultivation, and who is the individual who is having title of that agricultural area.
Why do we need both?
Ma'am, so that because ma'am there are occupants, there are ma'am the possession is with a different individual compared to the person who is holding the
why do
title.
You need both? It can be one instrument for both?
Yes, ma'am. There are tenants actually who are working on the agricultural field, and the titles have not.
That's okay. The point I'm making is, why can't it be in the single act? Yes. Single document. This is the tenant, this is the owner. Why is it two separate ones?
Ma'am, currently efforts are being made to ensure that in the...
I'm asking you why. What's the reason for it?
Ma'am, to have them in one book.
No, why do you have two separate? There's a logic. What is the reason?
Ma'am, the reason was that the registration of property and the transfer of the title was not done smoothly. So, ma'am, because of that, there was a requirement to do.
Does Haryana have a Land Revenue Act?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, they're following the Punjab Land Revenue Act.
Does Haryana have a Zimmedari Abolition Act?
Yes, ma'am.
Difference is there. One is disputes were settled summarily on the basis of possession. Yes, that was the raison d'etre. Title suits go on longer. So that's a separate track. But to settle land disputes immediately is possession. That's why you have two separate documents.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Abhinav.
Sir.
So you are from Haryana?
Sir.
And you work there as well. Are you aware about this cough syrup tragedy thing? Or cough syrup fiasco thing? I mean, cough syrup manufactured in Haryana had killed many children in Africa.
Sir, yes, sir.
So, since you have worked in Haryana, where did the administration lapse?
Sir, the inspection of the cough syrup, which is generally done by the drug control officer or the food supply officer, sir, the inspection should have been done in a better manner. Secondly, sir, when the license for manufacturing of cough syrup, which were issued to the company under the drug control order or the appropriate acts, then also, sir, there should have been necessary checks and balances, which should have been, and necessary inspections done.
Are you aware about the issue? I mean, what exactly went wrong in the manufacturing of that those cough syrups?
Sir, the technical issue I am not aware of completely, but from the secondary reports, newspaper articles, it was found that, sir, there were certain sweeteners and there were certain preservatives and certain alcoholic content also, sir, which caused the tragedy, sir.
You got to read about that. Anyway, so ma'am was talking about George Soros. Now, did you read his statement?
Yes, sir.
The way he has made statement about the country. Then he alleged nexus between our Honorable Prime Minister and an industrialist. How should India respond?
Sir, India does not need to respond specifically to the allegations, because We've already launched an investigation. SEBI is conducting an investigation into the follow-on public offer, which Mr. George Soros has also raised about. And sir, secondly, Mr. George Soros has also talked about associated the Honorable Prime Minister with one incident which happened in Gujarat. Now that demeans the authority of the Honorable Supreme Court, because the Supreme Court has already issued certain verdicts on that particular incident. So sir, currently I don't think we need not reply on the allegations, because the investigation is going on and we are doing our job. The regulatory agencies are doing their job.
Would you recommend, blocking hedge funds backed by Mr. George Soros operating in India?
Sir, as of now, there is no need to block the hedge funds.
Acha, there was this controversy related to BBC documentary. It is banned in India. How do you see this ban?
Sir, we have freedom of speech and expression in India guaranteed under Article 19(1)(a), but Article 19(2) also has certain reasonable restrictions. And sir, the banning of the content was done as per the reasonable restrictions, which are that it should not lead to problems for the unity, integrity, sovereignty of the country. And also, sir, the BBC documentary undermines the authority of the Honorable Supreme Court, where the Honorable Supreme Court has already given.
Is the documentary after Supreme Court order, or was it made before that?
Before that.
But now when the Supreme Court has settled up a matter already, then any such further allegations or any such new points of discussion on that should not be opened up.
There was this earthquake in Turkey. Now experts are saying that India is awaiting that kind of earthquake in India. You have worked in state government as in Department of Revenue and Disaster Management. What preventive disaster management measures should be taken to avoid such kind of situations happening in India?
Sir, multiple measures should be taken. Firstly, sir, the construction or the structural codes as per the seismic zone of the place, the structural code should be followed. The buildings, the inspection of buildings and the inspection and certification that if they've been built as per the building codes, that should be done. Secondly, sir, non-structural measures such as retrofitting of buildings and ensuring that if a building is dilapidated 5 years, 10 years old, then certain upgradation of the building is done, that should be done. And sir, thirdly, there should be mock drills which should be conducted by the appropriate disaster management authority to ensure that in case of any disaster or any such activity, people are updated, people know what to do.
Achha, my last question to you. You have studied sociology, right? From sociological perspective, analyze this contradictions in Haryana society. Maximum women player, they come from Haryana, but the sex ratio is poorest in Haryana. How this contradiction coexist?
Sir, I would beg to differ here a bit. Sir, the sex ratio was poor in Haryana, and sir, it was 879 as per the census 2011. But now, sir, the sex ratio has improved and we are improving the sex ratio. And it doesn't seem to me a dichotomy. It seems that things are in tandem. Both the sex ratio is improving as well as the women participation in sports and in other activities, that is improving. It can be explained by cultural lag, that yes, there could have been a cultural lag that could have led to the skewed sex ratio. But now the society is catching up with the lag and they're progressing and they're understanding the importance of bringing women in the mainstream and enabling them with respect to health, education or other skills.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Abhinav, you have been to several cities, Mumbai, Gurgaon, Delhi, and you have done your post-graduation from Calcutta. So, if you have to compare Delhi, Kolkata and Mumbai, and you have to bring about one cultural thing and one administrative idea from one city to other two cities, do it for all the three cities.
Sir, the acceptance of the society to have people from different subcultures and the evolution of the composite culture.
Okay, composite culture one. second administrative thing from Delhi?
Sir, the way the way Delhi government, which is not a complete state, the way it has progressed ahead with the administrative arrangement which we have in place, consisting of the Honorable Lieutenant Governor and the elected Council of Ministers sharing powers with each other.
So you want to adopt this in other cities as well?
In some of the capitals, sir, we can have this if the need is felt for.
Delhi is already facing so many challenges. There are already litigations all around. So why do you want to bring it to other cities?
So say in Mumbai, if it is felt that the administrative or the strategic requirements are such that we need such kind of arrangement, then sir, this can be applied over there.
Okay, let's talk about Kolkata.
Sir, sir, Kolkata, the cultural spontaneity that we have in Kolkata, sir, that is one thing which can be applied.
What do you mean by that?
Sir, we have Victorian architecture over there. We have Islamic architecture over there also. And sir, still the vibrance of those cultures is felt there. Sir, if one takes a buggy ride around Victoria Memorial or other Islamic architecture.
So basically architecture-wise.
Architecture and also, sir, the various folk arts, Madhubani paintings are also there, though they're not from that place. And also, sir, worship of deity Kali, goddess Durga and goddess Kali, and the devotion people have, and the way they celebrate Durga Ashtami and other festivals related to deity, goddess Durga, goddess Kali, that is.
Okay, administrative idea from there.
Sir, one administrative idea would be how popular sovereignty and how needs of the people should be considered before taking on any decision, and how needs, demands and voices of people should be represented in major decisions of the government.
Give me an example.
Sir, there everyone has a say in the governance, the labor unions, the other unions. So every different section of society represented by an entity, they have their say, and the government and the governance policies take into consideration their say, the labor union say or the say of teachers association or others.
Okay, let's talk about Mumbai.
Sir, Mumbai, sir, cultural aspect would be, sir, again, the spirit of inclusiveness that they have in the society, sir. Though they have pride in being Marathis, but they've also been welcoming to people from other places. So this inclusivity would be one thing which can be taken, inclusivity and acceptance of people. And sir, administratively, the way, sir, civic bodies or urban local bodies in Mumbai have performed, particularly, sir, the Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation, the way it managed the COVID lockdown, and sir, the way it is currently managing the rejuvenation of rivers such as Meethi River, or tackling problems such as urban floods, and these initiatives that can be applied in other cities.
Great, Abhinav. Okay, my last question to you: how is this wireless charging works?
Sir, it works on the principle of transmission of energy between the adapter and between the receiving station and between the adapter on the device, which is brought in a proximity. The distance can be 5 meters, 10 meters, and it depends on the technology that we use for charging, sir.
Okay.
And sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Abhinav, so you like analyzing the performance of Bollywood movies. Who is your favorite director?
Sir, currently, sir, Karan Johar, sir, Yash Johar, sir, I feel is my favorite director.
So Yash Johar. Okay. Where do you think was the inflection point for the Yash Raj films? Which movie was the inflection point for Yash Raj films?
Sir, Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge.
That was the inflection, but that was the continuation here. That kind of movies they are making since Zamana.
So, but that was one of the movies, DDLJ, where, sir, where the movie became mainstream and the audience started jumping in and queuing in the theaters to watch the movies, sir. And also, sir, the story
Audience started coming in bulk to watch the movie.
Yes, sir.
What about Diwar? Was it blockbuster?
Yes, sir.
Waqt?
Yes, sir. But sir, the storytelling and ma'am, the scenery, the storytelling took a turn in this point, sir. Earlier movies didn't have this kind of.
I'm talking about Yash Raj films. Which movie was the inflection point for their genre?
DDLJ, I believe, sir.
What do you think is one thing? Dar.
Yes, sir. Dar was
It was inflection point. It's a totally non-wire film. Anyway, which is your favorite part of the Constitution and why?
Sir, fundamental rights is my favorite part because sir, they enable the individuals with certain rights which one needs to have to perform function as a citizen. Different types of rights are there, and sir,
Which is the most important fundamental right?
sir, Article 14, sir.
Why not 32? Without 32, there is no 14.
Yes, sir. Sir, if we have to choose one, sir, then right to equality should be there. And sir, right to equality would ensure that there is no transgression on the rights of individual. Everyone is equal.
But without 32, 14 won't stand.
32 would come in, sir, if there are grievances.
So next question, is Supreme Court doing justice to 32?
Yes, sir.
Where is it doing justice? If you go to Supreme Court, they scold you and send you to High Court.
Sir, for certain matters, under Article 226, High Court also has jurisdiction over the writs.
Anyway, my last question to you. I think that there are many enablers of misgovernance. Do you understand it? Enablers of to your mind, which is the most important enabler of misgovernance?
Sir, corruption.
And why? Okay, and why?
Sir, because firstly, it makes sure that there is delay in processing of files or processing of work. Secondly, sir, it ensures that without fulfillment of private interest.
Three things very quickly. What will you do in your jurisdiction to reduce corruption?
Sir, reduction of discretionary power.
Second,
digitization of
Good.
the
Third?
work process. Third, enforcement of the Prevention of Corruption Act and appropriate
Very
action.
good. Thank you very much, Abhinav.
Abhinav, I believe you are pretty knowledgeable. You are a very presentable personality, good articulation, confident and calm. At least if you are not, let's say, if you were nervous, it was not visible. So that is the plus point. Some pitholes, maybe like as ma'am pointed out, answers are pretty lengthy. So we need to be pinpointed unless you are asked again about it. Then delve deeper into those answers, right? Other than this, I think it was all well. Do read current affairs very well.